That feels so bad.
All right. This episode of the Man Event is brought to you by Activated Charcoal Pills.
Yes,
We would like to welcome back to the studio a founding member of the Man Event, filling in for the Chief and TSG tonight, Mr. Matty-Ho. Welcome back, my
What
man.
is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How you all doing?
Tom, we're doing great. So Tom Brady continues to do Tom Brady things. He throws his 600th touchdown pass on Sunday. The World Series starts this Tuesday. I know that you have had a case of the Mondays, but all of that is about to change because it's time for your favorite show. So sit back, bring us your comments, and join us because this is the Man Event. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's light this candle. So before we go anywhere, I got to say thank you to everybody who is joining us today, whether you're joining us from Facebook or from YouTube. We are excited to have you. By the way, make sure you like and subscribe and feel free to share this content, especially on all of your Facebook groups that have similar things like this, including the Bucs or baseball or whatever. Listen, there's a special reason that you want to make sure that you subscribe today, because probably the greatest release in Man Event history is coming this Thursday night at 8 p.m. And here's the cool thing, Pooh Bear, it includes everybody, not just the main Man Event crew, but we got Chef Javi's part of it. Matty-Ho is part of it. It is going to be legit. So Pooh Bear, I'm going to let you kind of frame up what we going on, but you want to make sure not to miss this Thursday night at 8 o'clock.
That's exactly right. Our very own TSG has composed, written, and recorded a song. The song is an ode to the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady. It is essentially a love letter to Tom.
A quarterback that none of us liked until March of 2020.
That's right. That's right. My favorite quarterback of all time.
Then?
Just a little bit of ink on a piece of paper. That's all it was. So I just looked at some of the footage today. The very first piece of footage we recorded was back in July of 27th of July, excuse me. That's how long we've been working on this.
Wow.
Since the 27th of July. It is now done. Filming is wrapped. I am putting the final touches on the edits. It will be released this Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time for your pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, you are not going to want to miss this. Chief wanted us to put this.
You put it out there. It is coming out Thursday, right?
I've said,
Listen, Matty-Ho, you've seen some of the drafts. It is legit.
Oh, it is legit.
It will require 2 to 3 viewings just to get all everything, just to get it all, to absorb it all. Which, at this point I've watched it a gazillion times, but so the Chief wanted to put together like a world premiere like they used to do on MTV way back in the 80s. And that was one of my favorite parts of childhood. I remember when they promoted the Michael Jackson Thriller video. Oh, yeah. And it was just for months.
Dude, what about November Rain?
I don't remember.
I think people skipped school to go out and see that video, didn't they?
Yeah, it was an event. I mean, like the family gathered around. You got Vincent Price's voice coming out. There was like this 20-minute segment before the actual music started, which was cool. But anyways, just stuff like that. That's kind of how we wanted to treat this. Obviously, with YouTube, things are a little different. We don't have our own network. Once we do, then we'll be able to do that.
It'll be the name of our network will just be TME.
I like it. TME. Subscribe.
There you go.
So also I should note that this song or rap, however you want to look at it, is a parody.
It is.
of something you have heard before. So
hopefully
set the stage on that. We're not going to let it go. We're not going to let it out right here, right? But
Not even a little sneak peek tonight. Not a little
no.
snippet. Nothing.
No. Probably about 10 years ago, I think Andy Samberg and the group from SNL, his college roommates, they call themselves the Lonely Island. They put together a song called "We're on a Boat," and it was kind of just a hilarious rap, and it's not very PG. A lot of swearing and whatnot, and visualizations in the video. But that was kind of
ours is straight up PG though.
Absolutely, ours is G.
Not even PG-13.
Yeah, ours
it is straight up PG.
G, general audience, of course. Because we don't
bring the kids in for the premiere. It's okay.
Absolutely. But regardless, that was the inspiration. We kind of followed the format for the video. It's fantastic. You just can't. I can't wait to release it. You should not wait to view it. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. And dude, again, I would say mad shout out to TSG. Like the production hours that this guy put into composing a song and writing it. He wrote the entire lyrics. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yep.
But it's going to be awesome. So with that, let's switch gears. The Bucs had a dominating performance last night against the Bears. They went home deflated. So a couple of things I'll just note, and then you guys can just jump in where you want. But some highlights I saw from the game. JPP, we were talking before the game. When was the last time anybody called this guy's name? Yeah. 2 sacks last night. Mike Evans, who doesn't really have a lot of receiving yards on the year so far after 7 games, 3 touchdown passes. Of course, Tommy threw 4 of those to him. And we'll come back to this in a minute because I got a couple thoughts on Tom. The running game all around has been awesome the last 3 weeks, right? Yesterday they rushed for nearly 150 yards between Lenny and Rojo. Rojo even went for like 63, 65 yards. How about this? The defense, the secondary, who have been the weakness of this team all season, 3 picks in that game. And how about this? All the scoring was pretty much done for the Bucs in the first half, but at 32-3 at halftime, there wasn't a whole lot of reason to come out and put up 70 on the Bears. But 5 of the first 8 possessions that we have in that first half are in touchdowns. So just an overall dominating performance. Gentlemen, what did you guys see?
Well, really quick, you mentioned the defense there, right? And what was it, the first or second defensive play of the game? You had a sack, wasn't it? Right out of the gate.
Yeah.
So they came to play, and that set the stage. And of course, I think the Bears had a few sacks against them last week too. So
a few, they had 9.
That was really 9. But it was really good to see that. So what a way to set the stage and get started there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the kind of team, championship teams beat the teams they're supposed to beat handily. The Bears were definitely a team the Buccaneers should beat, and they came out and dominated just like they should. Unfortunately for the Bears, they had some, especially on the offensive line. I think their right tackle was out on COVID protocol. They had some other injuries, and top players missed the game. Justin Fields is still a rookie trying to figure things out. I don't know if he knows which way north is right now. It was pretty brutal. But
that dude had a long day.
Yeah, and he's had a long couple of weeks. So, the point is that this is the kind of game, this kind of an opponent the Buccaneers needed to kind of get healthy a little bit, get their confidence up, especially with the secondary. They played extremely well for what was out there. There's definitely some areas they can improve, especially in special teams kicking game. Ryan Suckup misses a short field goal. Yeah. That needs to stop. I think this is not his first miss this year. Kind of disappointing. The return game was really good. Jalen Darden was cranking them out back there. So a lot of good points. Tom Brady sets a record, 600.
Who is that guy?
He's
that Jalen Darden guy?
Yeah, he's was a draft pick this year. He's a rookie.
Oh, was he on the practice squad, or where did he come from?
No, he was like the 3rd or 4th round pick.
Really?
Yeah, he was small school, speedy receiver. I think it was small school, or was he Kentucky? I can't recall which school he went to, but it wasn't, not a well-known guy, it wasn't a first round pick, but he's speedy. He may be faster than Scotty Miller. So, but anyway, they look good. They stopped the run a little bit. There was some advances by the Bears. They had a good blocking scheme to be able to get some extra yards in the run game, which we're not used to seeing against the Buccaneers. But overall, Justin Fields is running for his life. It was very good, very nice.
Yeah. I think we ended up having.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think overall, I think we had 5 total sacks between the whole defense. So we were definitely getting to the quarterback. Well, one of the things, Matty, go ahead. What you were going to say something?
I was just going to say, I know you brought up Suck Up and stuff. I'd say let's not sweat him too much. He's still miles ahead of any of the recent guys we had before him.
Oh, absolutely. No, I don't. I'm not. I'm not advocating for his release. I'm just saying that these short field goals, you should make those. That's what you get paid to do. And I'm not sure what the dynamic is there. I know that the kicker, Bradley Pinion, or the punter, Bradley Pinion, he makes some of the kicks, like he does the long kicks. And I think he was in on a field goal at one point last week. Very, very odd relationship.
Pinion does the kick-offs.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think he also did a field goal attempt or an extra point attempt last week. Maybe I was missing something. Just an interesting flow there. That's all.
So, Pooh, you mentioned some of the opportunities that you thought that they had. I think we had talked a little bit before the show about they had some short yardage or short field situations because of turnovers.
Yep.
That we didn't capitalize. I think we only scored on one of those turnovers.
Yeah, they had 2 attempts to get into the end zone from from inside the 5, and failed on both those series. Not a good look. Tom was overthrowing some players. This reminiscent of the Philly game when it was raining, or no, the New England game when it was raining. So he didn't have his best day. He's still missing targets a little bit. Not too worried about him. He's going to figure that part out. The short yardage run game, like I said, I think that could be improved upon too. I love seeing Vita Vea back there at fullback and running
ridiculous.
And running with Leonard Fournette. That is one of my favorite pro sets. When you've got, you put in 2 tight ends, Vita Vea and Leonard Fournette, you're going to score from inside the 5.
Yeah, you're going to score. Yeah.
That should
let Vita Vea run one in.
Oh,
a la Refrigerator Perry.
That would be great.
Speaking of Chicago, right? Yeah.
Listen, I just got a text message from Chief, who's obviously watching the show from wherever he's at. And he said the Bears were so bad that Tony Romo almost gave the Bucs a compliment.
Wow.
Besides him and Chris Collinsworth, they're like the biggest Bucs haters on the planet.
Hey, did we ever figure out why that game was on CBS in the first place?
I have no idea.
If anybody knows, leave us a comment.
It's always a Fox game.
Well, Fox has the NFC rights, and you had both teams are NFC teams, the Bears and the Bucs. It was in the NFC stadium. Very confusing as to why it was on CBS, but whatever. It was they put their A team out there with Nance and Romo.
Yeah. Listen, I'll tell you one of the things I was actually I don't know, disappointed is the wrong word, but again, a very dominating performance. I didn't feel that Tom Brady needed to even take a snap in the second half.
Yeah.
And they waited until deep in the third quarter to pull him, in lieu of Blaine Gabbert. Why wait so long? Game's well in hand.
They want him to get 600 and 601.
600 is not enough.
Right.
Tom Brady set the record for all-time touchdown passes. He achieved his 600th touchdown pass. I don't think that's. And
I think he got 601 too, didn't he?
Yeah. So I'm not sure why he played so late into the third quarter. Especially with a good run game, keep the game running. Let Blaine Gabbert. That's a hard name to say for me. Blaine Gabbert. Let him run the ball or hand the ball off to Fournette and just pound it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's the other thing on that is, we believe that Kyle Trask is the quarterback of the future for the Bucs. That's the reason we took a chance on drafting him in the second round, even though we have a starting quarterback for at least this year, presumably next year. This is the second game this season that we've seen the backup get significant playing time because of the score. Why not give Kyle Trask some snaps? Wouldn't you rather see, like, this is a perfect opportunity for him to get some playing time?
Right. I don't know of a good reason why not to, especially when you're up, like you said, we were yesterday. But that's a great question to ask at a press conference, I guess. Somebody should ask that, but I don't know. I don't know of a good reason I would do it.
I would think the main reason is the fact that Kyle's not dressing. So, and the active roster, you can only dress so many guys. And with the depth problems at cornerback and in the backfield and at tight end, I think that's an issue where they want to dress an extra player there, not necessarily quarterback. So I think that's probably the reason why. And, you do want Gabbert as your main backup if there is a problem. If Tom does, knock on wood, if he were to have to leave the game for some reason, he's got diarrhea. Let's say there. Let's start there. That way we don't have to.
Wow.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't want to mention the I word.
Listen, Pooh, if the guy comes up with diarrhea next game, you're fired.
Well, I didn't want to say the INJURY. Okay. I didn't want to say that word. So I went with something simplistic like diarrhea.
I'm not comfortable even in this arena right now.
Anyway, if that were to happen in the second quarter, you want Blaine Gabbert coming in because the game may have been in doubt at that point. Obviously, with the Bears game, it wasn't. But if it was a game against maybe next week against the Saints, where the Saints are a little bit better team, there could be a problem if you don't have a quality starter in there. We saw Kyle Trask in the preseason. It wasn't fantastic. It may get better as time goes. He has learned a whole lot since the preseason, but fact remains, you want to give yourself the best chance to win. Blaine Gabbert does that as your backup. So that would be my only reasoning is that, you need that extra spot on the roster for depth at the other positions where you're you're more likely to have an injury, not the quarterback position.
All right.
Well, you mentioned he wasn't dressed really quick. So that's obviously a good reason, but put that aside. Like you said, he didn't look so hot earlier, but what better way to get better than to have some real world snaps?
But I mean, in the preseason, he never played with a first or second team offense.
True. But you have to run that risk. And if he's the third quarterback, then he can only come in the fourth quarter anyway. So, I mean, it's a huge risk to have that roster spot taken up. And TSG agrees with me. Look at there. He's going to be the guy if we need him. Like I just said, if Tom Brady has a irritable bowel syndrome case.
Wow. Man, you better hope. You better hope.
Yeah.
So, switching gears, we got the Saints Sunday night. Will Jameis be eating W's?
He will because he thinks he's going to win, but he won't.
Well, they're what, 3-2?
So they play tonight too.
Right.
Yeah, they play tonight against the Seahawks, who
right?
don't have Russell Wilson, so that could be an easy win for them.
Yeah. Good false confidence.
There you go.
Yeah, the big false confidence going into next week, but I don't know. I think that's I don't want to call it a sure win, but we got a really good chance of winning that game next week.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I think it all depends on which Jameis shows up. If Hall of Fame Jameis shows up, which we've seen flashes of in the 5 seasons he spent here, or if Jameis, who keeps both teams in the game, shows up, it's a different story, right? We're obviously hoping we're going to get the Jameis that keeps both teams in the game.
Yes. Love that guy. Yeah, so and we'll see. The Saints aren't playing terrible. They still have a good run game. They're doing a lot of those short passes. This is the kind of passing plays that we see that have been kind of the way that the blueprint to beat the Buccaneers, the short, flat passes, what the Rams did, what the Eagles did for a little bit until they got away from it. So that might happen. Sean, what's his name? Blonde from the coach at New Orleans.
Payton.
Yeah. Why can't Sean Payton? Thank you. Thank you. Sean Payton. Sean Payton's a smart guy. He's going to be watching tape. He's going to know that better than anybody else. So he's going to probably implement a game plan very similar to that in order to beat the Buccaneers, or try to.
I think Jameis will be nervous going up against us again. And with like you said, the secondary playing better, I think he's ripe for the picking.
Yep. And they'll be going into a bye week, so the Buccaneers will have that week off to look forward to. So hopefully that's in the back of their minds, like, hey, we leave it all on the field today because we've got a week off. Hopefully they're thinking that way anyway with the leave it all on the field mentality. But
yeah,
you know what I mean.
All right, so Poober, let's move. How do we do on picks last week? Who had a good week? Who not such a great week? What do we got?
We got to do the fantasy stinger.
You're a wizard, Harry.
You're a wizard, Harry.
All
right. So picks last week, we had the Browns and Broncos, the Bengals and Ravens, the Eagles and Raiders. We all kind of agreed except for Chief. Chief was the only one that took the Bengals to beat the Raiders, which they did. So what?
That guy gets lucky.
Oh, we got comments. So we all went 2-1 except for Chief, who went 3-0.
Oh gosh.
The Chief went 3-0, and he's now tied.
If you can't get on the show,
for
you shouldn't be allowed to comment.
Yeah. How can he comment? How can he be sitting there watching it? He can't be on it. Come on, Chief.
This guy.
That just happened. So he is tied with me for first place. We're both at 12-9. B-Love, you're in second with 11, or third 11-10, and TSG adds
bringing up the rear.
Record. Bring up the rear. He's 8-12. So this week, should we play Chiefs video first?
Yeah, let's play Chiefs video.
All right, let me see if I can figure out how to do this again. So since Chief's not on here, he made a video for us to do his predictions and to go with the games that we're going to play. I'll bring this up right now, fellas. Here we go. Here I go. Here I go. Here I go again.
All right, guys. I'm not on the show tonight. Some of us do have to work every once in a while.
Oh, gosh.
But I wanted to go ahead and record my picks and get them to you for two reasons. Number one, I didn't want to get stuck with Jacksonville for three picks. I know that's the TSG penalty for not getting them in on time. Number two, had to get my picks in so B-Love would know who to pick because he's been riding my coattails since like week 4. So we'll just go ahead and get this out of the way for you. Okay, so week 8, we have the Packers versus the Cardinals. I say that this is the week that the Cardinals take their first loss and that the Packers will beat the Cardinals. Second game, Panthers over the Falcons. I think the Falcons are going to have just too much offense for the Panthers to deal with. Panthers, with a couple of injuries, Falcons are going to go ahead and take care of the Panthers for us. And then the final game, the 49ers against the Bears. The Buccaneers, at the time I'm recording this, the Buccaneers have not yet beat the Bears. That game hasn't even started. I'm assuming that's going to happen. The Bears are going to see what it takes to be – they're going to know what a really good football team looks like. They're going to go ahead and go against the 49ers. It's going to be an easy week for them next week. So I see the Bears over the 49ers. So the Chiefs, Packers, Falcons, Bears. Good luck.
Wow. Yeah. So we didn't get a video from TSG, so I guess he's just going to get the Jags.
No. He can have the Dolphins and the Jets also.
Or do we let Matty-Ho pick for TSG?
Yes. Okay. Matt, you got to pick bad.
I'm ready. Ready? I'm going with the Jags.
Did he really pick the Bears? He did.
He did.
All right, so
over San Francisco.
Let's go. So we know we have.
First,
there you go. Go ahead, Pooh Bear.
Yeah, first Green Bay, Arizona, and like Chief said, Arizona's still undefeated. Green Bay's only got one loss. These are two powerhouse teams. This probably will be your America's game of the week.
Yeah. Yep.
So the Chief has Green Bay giving Arizona their first loss. What do you got, Matty-Ho?
How do I say this? I tend to agree. Unfortunately, I got to say I agree with the Chief. I think he's making a good pick here. Aaron Rodgers would look good. Well, this is just a great game, right? This is going to be a great game just to watch. This is a football sport loving man's game.
Yep.
And but I do think it's time for the Cardinals to lay an egg here. So I got to agree with him. I would think Green Bay.
All right. I'm not completely in Green Bay's camp still. And I'm still burnt from the offseason and Aaron Rodgers' shenanigans.
Yeah.
But I'm not a firm believer in the Cards either. I mean, they aren't a great team. They're just an exciting team. They remind me of the Rams from 20 years ago.
Well, I think the thing about the Cards is, like we have all in the offseason, we're like, what is JJ Watt thinking?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like
I was not, but I see it now.
You know what I'm saying? Like this team came out of nowhere to be playing the football that they are. I don't know did we get your pick, Pooh Bear? Who you?
I'm gonna go with the Cardinals. I think they maintain the undefeated record.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the Pack.
Okay.
And here's the deal. We roasted these guys after week 1. Right? The whole thing with Aaron Rodgers and his crap during the offseason, and he brought that into a clubhouse. He brought bad culture, but this team hasn't lost a game since. Yeah. And in most cases, they're winning handsomely. Agreed. I'm going with the Packers. I think they're going to knock off the Cardinals. I don't know that we know who the Cardinals are yet.
Making the same time. I'm trying to go through these comments. They're coming in fast and furious.
Well, I like what you're saying. The only thing I would say is I think Aaron Rodgers needs to cut his hair.
Yeah, he looks homeless. Notice he hasn't been. Well, I guess he has been in State Farm commercials, but he looks like a yoga instructor in there too. But anyway,
ever since Danica left him, I don't know.
All right, moving on to the Panthers versus Falcons. This is an important game for the NFC South. With the Buccaneers being involved, obviously neither team's playing very well. Chief has gone with the Falcons. I'm going to go – man, this is tough. Panthers look terrible. Sam Darnold.
I'm going to say, like, Chief's going to give me a hard time for going with the Falcons. But, like, my sister's picking the Falcons. And she doesn't know anything about football.
She likes birds.
Like, now, the Panthers aren't good. And especially with Christian McCaffrey out. They're just not good.
Yeah. No, they've been running with Chuba Hubbard, the rookie, who hasn't been terrible. So I'm going to go with the Panthers' run game is going to help them win that game because Sam Darnold's not going to do it. But I'm going to go with the run game helps them win that game over the Falcons because they're flat out terrible. What do you got, Matty-Ho?
Well, I agree with the same thing. I just got to look at Sam Darnold versus Matt Ryan here, right?
Yeah,
I got to go with Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. There's no real winners here.
Yeah. This is a crapshoot here. I mean,
right.
Win, you lose, you lose, you win here. I don't know.
Last game, 49ers versus the hapless Bears. Chief went with the Bears. Yeah. What do you got, B-Love?
So I just saw the Bears get absolutely destroyed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I know that they just played the defending Super Bowl champions, but I couldn't name a single thing that team did well on Sunday. And at this point, I don't really care who their matchup is. The 49ers beat the Bears on Sunday.
Yep, I agree with that. What about you, Matty-Ho?
Yeah, the same thing. I don't see how anybody could pick the Bears after yesterday.
Chief just did.
Well, yeah, see, good.
And you'll notice in the
he's
comments
out there all by himself on this one. Good.
You'll notice in the comments here that he regrets it.
So, big surprise. B-Love's following my picks.
Yeah.
I can't take the.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't either.
Maybe he's using the microphone and it's not translating.
He can't take the abuse of he got the Jags, and the Jags. Well, listen, we gave him Matty-Ho's pick, so that's better than nothing.
Chef Javi agrees with me. The Panthers and San Fran.
TSG, decisions are made by those who show up.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. That's rough.
TSG, I did right by you, but I think I made good picks for you.
Hey, since we're in the fantasy segment, how are we doing in survival? I think the Chiefs survived.
Well, I mean, I quit watching Survivor when I got eliminated.
Like 3 weeks ago.
So we have 4 left. I believe the Chief and neighbor Jim and then a couple of other viewers are in there as well. And they're all safe this week. So this is going to go down to mid-season, it looks like.
Well, it's going to start getting more difficult here. I think the league is starting to shake out. You know who the haves and the have-nots are, and a lot of these folks have survived by going with surefire wins, No brain, and you know, and the way
The
that
Bucs over the Bears.
yeah, the way that Survivor League works is you only get to pick a team one time, so you just can't pick the Bucs every week or the Packers every week.
Yeah, and we're coming into the heart of the bye weeks. You know, we've got we've had bye weeks past 2 weeks. We're coming up again this week, and next. So yeah, you're right. So
which I'll tell you, in fantasy football this week, man, that bye week killed me. I think I had like 4 or 5 players on bye. I'm dropping players, picking up. I mean, dude, I don't know what I was thinking when I drafted. Clearly not paying attention to the bye weeks of my players, but it cost me this week.
I'm going to need the Seattle kicker to fumble the ball about 12 times in order to lose.
It might just happen. I don't know.
So
I think you're out of luck, Pooh Bear. I don't think you're going to get what you're looking for, man.
No, I'm ahead by 60 points. I'm talking about the my opponent. He needs.
Okay.
No, you're right. I would need John Myers or Jay Myers, the Seattle kicker. He would have to lose 60 points for me in order for me to lose this week. So that's a surefire victory.
Yeah,
you're feeling good.
All right, so hey, just kind of
good.
around the NFL real quick. So this just in, like the Kansas City Chiefs are not really that great at football this year.
Kansas
I mean,
like
whatever the Buccaneers did to them in the Super Bowl, they've yet to recover from. And did you see the hit that Mahomes took at the end of that game?
He was having to be helped off the field by several players,
dude.
And
there was nothing about him that led you to believe he had his faculties.
Yeah, no, it reminded me of the time when they had to help Hillary into that van. That's what it looked like. Yes, I did. I don't think he knows where he was. That was one of those things where, hey, Patrick, how many fingers am I holding up? And he's like, Jupiter.
You look like Daniel Jones from the week prior, right? I mean,
he may go into concussion protocol this week. I don't know. If they're legit.
He's already out of concussion protocol.
Are you serious?
I know.
Really?
That makes you think something fit. Dude was knocked out.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, he went to sleep. And
he was cleared concussion protocol.
Wow. Nah, I'm calling shenanigans on that one. I don't believe that for a minute. I mean, I believe that you tell me that, but I'm just saying I don't think he was truly. There's no way. There's supposed to be an independent third-party doctor looking at these guys, and
yeah,
I'm no doctor.
Who am I? Is a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, I'm no doctor. Who am I? What am I saying?
Daniel Jones didn't miss a week with the Giants, and he was stumbling and fumbling and bumbling after he got hit the week prior too, right? So I don't know.
I mean, he was drooling out of his eyes.
Yeah,
that was a bad hit, man. That was a bad hit. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, I'm not.
You know what? They were bad before that hit, right? The Chiefs just wow.
Yeah, they have not been playing well.
What it is I think the Bucs developed a roadmap, and everyone's following it this year, right? On how to beat them. Don't blitz. Patrick Mahomes, if he's got to hang out in the pocket, he's not a good pocket player. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if he's talking about.
He's talking about me because I said that decisions are made by those who show up.
I thought he was trying to say the show is better by him and the Chief not showing up. I don't know.
Oh man.
Oh,
all right. So the other thing, so the Sean Watson trade rumors are starting to heat up. It was rumored that Miami was interested in taking a look at him, which I find interesting because Tua is supposedly their starting quarterback. He's played well, by the way, the last 2 weeks, but I guess Houston wants. I think Pooh Bear, you told us they want 3 first-round draft picks. But
that's what I heard from someone yesterday at your house.
So maybe it wasn't you. But the other thing is now the Panthers are apparently in this conversation. My question to the two of you is: should teams take a chance on signing Deshaun Watson with all of the legal troubles that he may have? Specifically, it's not necessarily great press.
It's definitely not great press, but you just hit the nail on the head. The legal troubles he may have. He doesn't technically have any right now. He's not been arrested for anything. He's not been charged with anything. He's been accused by some ladies of something. Right? So we'll keep the show clean so we don't lose any young viewers. But he's had accusations. Now these are going to be more than likely civil suits against him specifically, not criminal charges. So, again, I would never want to apologize for anything anybody's done in this realm because, I don't know. I don't know Deshaun. I don't know these ladies. I don't know. I wasn't there when it happened. Whatever did happen, not going to pretend to know or pretend to, take a side. All I'm saying is legally, factually, as an employer, you're taking a chance on a guy who hasn't done anything wrong in the court of law, according to the court of law just yet.
Well, the court of public opinion is pretty important too. And
it is.
Matty, I agree with you.
Yeah. Like Carolina,
also
got to think about that if they're going to look at him for real.
I also think that where there is smoke, there is fire.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not. Again, I don't want to say that he doesn't have any trouble coming, but at this point, there isn't any, and more than likely, these are going to be settled out of court to where there is no.
So what I'm hearing you say is, as a general manager, you'd take a chance if you needed a quarterback.
I don't know. It depends on how my team is. I would
say this: teams in the past have shown, or general managers, I should say, have shown that they will take a chance if they need a player that bad.
Absolutely, especially
Michael Vick got a chance after going to prison.
Yes, but he had to come out and apologize and all that kind of stuff in order for that to happen. He had to be contrite and speak before the public. Deshaun hasn't done that as far as I know.
Well, Jameis Winston had some issues.
Yep.
Right.
And still does, as far as I know.
Well, yeah, but I mean, not only with Publix and food, but that issue with the Uber drivers.
Right?
Yep. So I mean, other teams have done that in the past too. They've been willing to overlook things, or time heals all wounds, I think.
To that point, Matty, I can remember all of us sitting together, specifically talking about Jameis, and at the time, none of us were thrilled about the way he was representing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Right. It wasn't about his play on the field. We weren't real thrilled about being associated with the guy. If you remember, it was like, hey, he's not really a great guy.
He's not a good representative for the Bucs, for Tampa, right?
But who is a great guy?
Does it TB?
TB12 is a great guy. I think we lost Pooh Bear. His picture's frozen. The ghost of Deshaun Watson came and clipped him.
Oh,
but
Pooh Bear.
If you saw the story from yesterday, Mike Evans throws into the stands the pass that he caught that was Tom Brady's 600th career touchdown pass.
Yep.
And he gave it so Mike Evans gave it to somebody, and then they went and, hey, that's Tom's 600 pass, whatever, like blah, 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 blah. Well, how about at the end of that game, there's a young man in the stands who's got a sign that basically says, Tom Brady has helped me beat back brain cancer. This young kid is in, I guess, remission from brain cancer. And Tom stopped on his way into the huddle at the end of the game and the way down the tunnel at the end of the game to talk to him, to sign autographs, give him some hats and balls and stuff like that. Yeah. That is the type of quarterback you want representing.
Yeah. Well, Tom's cool, calm, and collective, right? He's always good for PR. He's a professional, but that was just a classy move yesterday, what he did there. Of course, the kid was crying. I would be too, especially Tom Brady gives you the hat right off his head. But just the fact that Tom ran over there, took a minute, and if you look at the pictures or the video, boy, Tom is all smiles there too. I think he enjoyed it as much as the kid did, to tell you the truth.
Well, listen, I mean, it feels good to do good things for other people, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you get an opportunity to do something for somebody they would never be able to do for themselves. Like that gives you a pretty good feeling. I just saw this alert pop up on my phone. We were talking about that 600 touchdown pass. So they had to go back to this fan and negotiate to get that ball back because supposedly that ball is worth $750,000.
That's what I heard.
For this 600 touchdown pass. So they gave this fan Mike Evans and Tom Brady both gave him signed jerseys. And they're giving him season tickets for the remainder of 2021, all of 2022, and $1,000 credit to the official team store for giving back the ball.
Seems like they got the better end of the stick here. That kid's out $1 million. Well, let me ask you this: you like Tom Brady, great. He's got plenty of trophies in his trophy case, all that. I'm not saying he shouldn't have his 600th ball or whatever, or shouldn't go to the Hall of Fame or whatever's going to happen, right? But are you turning it over? I mean, if you're like $1 million to you, Tom, is like a dime in my pocket. So I'm going to wait till tomorrow. Why don't you give me a call tomorrow? I'll see how this plays out in the news, and then make me an offer then.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, so this is pretty funny right here. This is the Chief chiming in about Pooh Bear being missing from the show. Let me guess, internet problems. So
you got to tell him why, right?
Yeah, the why is like Pooh Bear runs his entire broadcast television off of like Fire Sticks and Roku's or whatever. I don't know. He doesn't have regular cable television.
Right.
So when we go over to his house, we watch a lot of games and buffering. Because as Cliff likes to give him a hard time, he's always got internet issues.
Yeah. Or we're always 5 minutes behind. We don't know what happened in the game because we lose connection for a minute. It's a running joke over there at Pooh Bear's house. Absolutely.
So he just texts. Apparently he lost power, but yeah, that's pretty funny. So kind of while we're waiting, I was going to go somewhere else, but I need Pooh to run the controls on this, and he's also got the story. So we're going to come back around to You Can't Fix Stupid. Stay tuned. But let's switch over to baseball real quick. The World Series starts on Tuesday night. You got the Houston Astros versus the hot Atlanta Braves. Yeah. Matty, who you got?
I'm going. I don't care. Can I say that? I don't know.
That's fine.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go Houston, and here's why. Not that I'm a Houston fan or anything, but I'm going to say Jeff Bagwell. Remember Jeff Bagwell? Houston Astros.
Of course, I remember Jeff Bagwell.
So I'm going just because I like Jeff Bagwell. So I'm going to go Houston. That's it. That's all I got.
All right. So by the way, I don't really know which one of these two is the better team, but I still do not like Houston for, cheat gate or whatever.
Good point.
That they had a number of years ago. But also you got to remember, like in the early 90s, when the Braves were making all of those Super Bowl runs, we didn't have a baseball team.
Mm-hmm.
Here in Tampa.
Right.
And so a lot of us who were from Tampa, we kind of grew up as Braves fans. And part of that too was we could watch the games on TBS. Right. And so we remember like the Sid Breams, the Tom Glavins, the Greg Maddoxes, Dion played there for a little while, but much like a lot of us grew up watching the Chicago Cubbies, right? Because they were on WGN. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going with the Braves. They haven't been to the World Series since I think 1999.
Well, remember they were such a powerhouse back then. Remember that? I mean, the Braves were just all over it, and then they've been gone forever. So they're back. The Rays aren't there. I'm just, I'm glad the Red Sox aren't there. We were talking yesterday, and I think it was Chief who said, it, but he'd like to see the Red Sox there because then we lost to the World Series, at least the World Series contender there. But I'm just like anybody but the Red Sox. I can't do it. So I'm glad the Red Sox aren't there. So I'm going.
Yeah, depending on how long it takes for Poober to get back, he's got a couple of things to say about that most recent Red Sox and the Red Sox series against the Rays too. But we'll see.
There's one guy we can blame on that whole series on the Tampa Bay Rays who couldn't hit a ball, who hit the entire season and then went radio silence in the whole postseason there.
Yeah, you're talking about Lau.
Yes, Brandon Lau.
Yeah,
right.
0 for 19.
Yeah, just a kill. And he was in 8. And he was in the spot to hit us in some key moments too that he could have.
Yeah. Well, of course he was. He led the team in RBIs and home runs in the regular season. So obviously he's going to be, in some of those spots, coming up. And he just flat out did not deliver.
Right. But sour grapes, I guess now because we're not there. So I'm going Houston. See what happens.
Look at Chief. He says the kids are running around with an antenna looking for a signal for Pooh. Well, the truth is he doesn't have internet because he doesn't have power. So
he needs to get a generator. Get a generator, Pooh.
You got to get that cranked back up. So, yeah. Anyways, it just for me, it kills me to see the Astros in the World Series.
Yeah, I
You
can
know, especially after coming off all those cheating allegations and that whole 9 yards. I just hate it. So, you know, one of the things that we were going to chat about too was the race coming up off season.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we need in the off season to be able to improve this team from what we've seen the last 2 seasons and make another run at this thing?
Well, you got a lot of key I guess I really got to look at who we going to lose, right? Who we definitely going to lose. But assuming we just start from where we left off, we had all the right pieces for the most part. We had the right. Brandon Lau hits a few balls. We're there. At least we're on to the next series. So you can always improve. I don't know. You probably got some good ideas. I don't know who to say right now. But the amazing thing about it too is we do it with such cheap payroll. So but I don't know. Who do you think? What position would you say we need to improve in the most? Do we need to pick up more pitching?
Yeah, so I'm going to agree with Chief here. I think it's pitching. Other than one key thing, and I'll bring that up here in a minute. But you talked about here comes Pooh Bear.
Pooh Bear.
Kiermaier is gone. I think, John. I think that Kiermaier, the only way he goes is in a trade. He's got a lot of payroll dollars tied up. In other words, we're going to have to make a deal with some team to pick up the majority of his contract if we're going to trade him. But I agree with you. We've got plenty of guys that can play outfield. And he is, I did some math coming into the 2022 season. Kevin Kiermaier and Zunino, those 2 guys alone will make up 27% of our payroll in 2022 as it sits right now. So backing up a little bit, Matt, you asked, I don't know, who do we need to replace? The folks that we need to replace is Nelson Cruz is a free agent, but I think that's a luxury we can't afford.
Nope.
But I do think we have to find a bat to protect Wander Franco. I think specifically if you're looking for offense, you've got to find somebody to protect Wander Franco. Chris Archer is a free agent.
Wow.
My guess is we probably don't re-sign him. We didn't get much use out of him anyway. Bye-bye.
Hasta la pasta.
Like, listen, Chris Archer is still good for the players that we got in his initial trade.
Yes. Thank you for that.
That's the best value he brought to our club on the second stint around. Zunino, by the way, he has a club option.
For a $4 million option.
Yeah.
Which
there's
should be a no-brainer.
No way they don't pick that up.
Yeah, that should be a no-brainer. You're not going to get a tier 2 catcher for $4 million.
Anywhere close to that money. Right?
Yeah, it's just not going to happen. So that's a no-brainer. I think McHugh is another free agent pitcher that we need to retain. Then there's a couple more that some of them didn't even see the field this year. Chaz Rowe didn't see the field, but I'm not totally ready to give up on him. Who else?
And then Waka.
Yeah, Michael Waka.
Free agent.
He definitely played better down the stretch, but
I think we probably lose him to free agency. Somebody's gonna. I mean, starting pitching is a premium. Somebody's gonna pay him.
If he was the Rays' 5th starter, I think I'd be okay with that. But they're gonna do their magic. They're gonna go out there. I've got a list of the top 25 free agents here. The Rays are gonna sign none of these guys, right? I can just about promise you of the top.
Who's the number 1 free agent?
Oh, Carlos Correa, definitely. Carlos Correa is the number 1 free agent. He'll command a huge salary, probably in the $300 million range. Just like, what's their names? Machado and Bryce Harper did a few years ago. Is my power active again? I can hear you guys.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I'm losing love though. Anyway,
Corey. So essentially, if you're in the market for a shortstop, you are going to be great because Corey Seager, Carlos Correa, Chris Bryant, who can he can play infield a little bit. Trevor Story, free agent. Marcus Simeon, Javi Baez. So there's a huge list of infielders for teams to choose from. The Rays don't need any of those guys. The Rays are probably going to have the best free agent or the best player at shortstop in the league, and he's not even a free agent with Juan Franco. What is going on?
I'm not sure.
Chief says on Titan right.
We can hear you.
I guess I'll just carry the show by myself. So the dream pick.
He can't hear anything.
The dream choice for me, if the Rays had enough money to go after, would be Freddie Freeman. A dream in the sense that he's probably going to be the best player the Rays could potentially use, not necessarily the best player available, but the best player they could use. But I don't want to see him leave the Braves. He's the new Chipper Jones of the 90s. You don't want to see the franchise leave. I don't want to see that for the yeah, essentially is. He's been there 11 or 12 years. He's just been a fantastic MVP style player for them this entire time. I guarantee he's going to have a great series starting tomorrow. So,
yeah. What Pooh Bear, by the way, who do you got, Pooh Bear? Because you were having a break when we went through that.
Well, the power went out. I'm going with the Braves. I've been a Braves fan since the early 90s, since before the Rays existed. Since the Braves were on TV every night with TBS, fell in love with the Braves, the old, Chipper Jones, Brian Jordan, Dave Justice, Greg Maddux, and Avery and Smoltz and the entire group, Bobby Cox and all that. That was my team, right? They were on every night. They were tremendous throughout the entire 90s. Only got one World Series. Probably could have had a second one if it hadn't been for the strike shortened season in 94. But just a great, fun group of players to watch. The battles they had against the Pirates and all that. So I have very fond memories of the Braves, and I want them to beat the the Astros. Just because, I don't like cheaters. And, I want to see the Braves win for Freddie Freeman, just like that.
Yep. Yeah, we already covered all of that, but thanks for showing up.
You forgot Tom Glavine, though. He didn't mention Tom Glavine, though.
So I could run the entire list of all of from Sid Bream to
Sid Bream.
Oh wow!
From Sid Bream all the way down to Otis Nixon. All right, don't even try me.
Yes, Otis Nixon. All right, Pooh Bear. We only have a few minutes left in the show. We didn't get a chance to do You Can't Fix Stupid.
Are we gonna?
Let's rock this out.
Hit it. Can we fix stupid? Probably not. All right. You can't fix stupid segment this week comes to us from the great state of Washington. Poor meteorologist Michelle Boss is trying to do her shtick for the weather and let all the good citizens of what town was this in? Wasn't a major town, I don't believe. Anyway, she's trying to let her citizens, her viewers, know just what kind of weather they can expect. And they have the green screen, they're showing the area, and here we got rain over here, and it's going to be cool over here, and all that stuff. Well, instead of her, she had the green screen up, but behind that was something else, and it was an adult film.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there was a woman's buttocks being displayed, and some other activities happening. And it was on there for a good, 25, 30 seconds. I haven't
How does
seen
that
the clip.
happen?
Roll the clip.
We don't have the clip.
How does that happen on network TV, though?
I don't know.
The disgruntled video guy in the back room.
That's my first.
Have some fun. I'm on
that's
my way
my
out.
first thought is that it's some sort of a prank, a trick, a disgruntled employee who wants to get back at somebody. But man, you're right. The QAQC for KREM.
WKRP? Was it WKRP?
No, it's just KREM. Oh man. So I actually have a very similar story that happened in high school. If you guys want to hear that, you guys want to hear that?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, go fire
So
it up.
no surprise. I was an AV nerd, an audiovisual nerd. I was on the morning show for Bloomingdale High School, and
Go Bulls.
we would produce the morning radio, morning announcements and news and whatnot. So our teacher, her name was Kitty. I can't remember her last name, but her name was Kitty. She would supply us with the VHS tapes. So she supplied us the tape to record the show on. We did the show. First period is when we did the show. Second, like between first and second period is when the homeroom and the announcements would be played. So we put it in the machine. It starts playing. If you remember VHS tapes, they would have that static, that kind of at the beginning or the end. Well, she had used a home cassette from a home that she had taped something. I'm guessing it was a movie. I know exactly what movie it is actually. It was a movie called A Fish Called Wanda. I've never seen the movie, but apparently there's one scene in there where there's some extracurricular adult activities happening. That just happened to be the scene that was right after the static and right before our news program started. And it played through the entire segment in class. Kitty, she was also my homeroom teacher. She was mortified. Just unbelievable. It's high school, so we're all laughing like, yeah, look at that. But again,
it's like somebody farted in elementary school.
Right.
Yeah, same idea.
Oh man, it was just I remember it vividly, how embarrassed she was and how funny it was to all of us, and how accidental it was. It was all so innocent, just a simple movie. I've never seen the movie. I don't know how much of that kind of stuff it contains in it. It didn't sound like it was a lot. It sounded like it was the one scene.
Well, now
So
this
listen,
you're going to be canceled because of that. So
listen,
Yeah,
I
potentially.
had something similar to that happen one time too. I was at a conference where a keynote speaker gets up to deliver their, whatever they're talking about, and during a break they bring up, their computer and get everything going. Which, nowadays most of the time you go somewhere and speak, you give before the day of the event, you've got to provide them a copy of your slide deck, right? They're making sure that everything is good, right? And let's be honest, like when in a big event, you start trying to trade out AV equipment and computers and stuff like that, it just never goes right. So anyways, this is before that time. This guy gets up to give a keynote. He clicks about through the second slide and starts getting pop-ups. Pop, 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 pop.
no.
I mean, just like it was just like rapid fire, pop, 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 pop. And I just thought, dude, just walk off the stage and leave.
Yeah.
How embarrassing.
I mean, yes. What else are you gonna do?
Room full of people.
You gotta own it. You just gotta stand there and own it. Yep.
Yeah.
That just happened.
Yep. Look at there. Technology
Yep.
gets the best of all of us.
Yeah. Say okay.
Oh man.
Any other stupids to fix?
Excuse me. No, Chief supplied one, but it was a little darker.
I think if he explains it, it's a little bit better. We'll save it for
Probably
next week's
so.
show.
But it
Which,
had
by
to
the way-
do. It had to do with the downfall of society. People not helping someone in trouble instead of videotaping.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, by the way, next week the Bucs play again at 4:30. So the main event will not be live on Sunday night. We will be back here on Monday at 7:00, both live on YouTube and on Facebook. Yep.
Well, here's the thing, really quick on that is, and then I know we got to go. So I don't like having these 4:00 games and these Thursday night games and these Sunday night games, but the reason we have them, I'll take that every year. You know what I mean?
I'm with you.
Super Bowl.
Man, it's like Sunday, a 4:30 game on Sunday is like eternity, man.
Yes.
It's like waiting, like when you were a kid and like you were waiting for summer vacation. It's like, dude, this is the longest school week of the year. Like that Sunday is the longest day. Waiting for the Bucs to play at 4:30. It's killer.
It's pretty tough.
Waiting for the food when we get together.
That's it right there. Waiting for food and waiting for dessert, because we can't have dessert until halftime, and that is just torture.
Yes.
Yeah, on a 4:30 game, it absolutely is.
Absolutely.
So as we close out,
to do it.
we'd like to thank this week's sponsor again of the show,
Charcoal tablets.
Activated charcoal.
Activated charcoal tablets. And with
Wake
that,
charcoal.
Pooh Bear, take us home, my man.
Hey, and thanks for all the participation, folks, in the chat. That was great. I know a couple of you work here. Actually,
Wait a minute, we get paid?
well, it worked. Doesn't mean you get paid. There's a difference. Charcoal. That was my text this morning. You were correct, sir. Oh, man. Take this opportunity right now, this very second. Click on the subscribe button and then click the little bell right next to it. That's going to tell you at 8 o'clock on Thursday,
Right.
ding-a-ling-a-ling-ling, quit watching Dancing with the Stars. Go watch the new music video by The Man Event. It's a can't miss event for The Man Event. How about
This
that?
is worth the price of admission. I'm telling you, go
It is
do it.
absolutely worth the price of admission.
Yep.
Pretty lit.
Happy to share it with you guys. I can't wait to see the reactions. Let us know what kind of music you want to see from us next. I mean, TSG is a creative writer. I got a feeling he's got more in him.
Good job, TSG. You nailed it.
Yes, sir. So that's it for us. Like I said, like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. If you didn't like this video, click the dislike button, but click it twice to really let us know how you feel. And with that, we'll be back next Monday night at 7 o'clock. Say goodnight, Chief.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for being here, Matty-Ho. Thanks for coming back and getting back in the saddle.
Enjoyed
Love
it. Glad
All
to
right.
be here.
Good night, everyone.
See ya.